Hey guys, Dave here from Berkshire Linux Users Groups. I'm here today to tell you and show you actually a little bit about Ubuntu Unity 8. So right now we're using the most latest and greatest Ubuntu 13.04 Raring Ringtail, and just going to take a couple minutes or so to actually show you around. If you're coming off of a Windows-based system or a Mac-based system, there are going to be some similarities, so hopefully this helps you into deciding which distribution you want. So let's start here. This here is my desktop. I'm on my desktop right now. I already went through the login process, gave them my username and password, and it logged me in here just like in any other operating system case. And this is the first thing that comes up is my desktop. The first thing I want to actually go over with you guys is this bar up here across the top. For people that are on the Windows-based systems or just leaving the Windows-based system are familiar with this as a taskbar. It's generally down here at the bottom by default for those Windows users. For Apple users, this is really going to look familiar to you because it's the exact same way on an Apple-based system. Is bar on the top. So up here in the left-hand corner, can't speak today, is actually going to show our current path. Right now it's saying Ubuntu Desktop because we are on the desktop. If we were to navigate anywhere else, whether it be a URL or a file directory, that path would display here. Over here on the upper right-hand corner, we have a few things. Starting over here to the left is any applications that are open. So right now I have our Kazam screen capturing software up in order to record the video. Next one here is our cloud service from Ubuntu One. Talk a little bit about that in a minute. Our battery indication. I'm on a laptop. If you're on a desktop, this won't obviously display for you, but it gives you your charge status. If you unplug it, it'll give you your remaining battery life. And it will, like all other systems, yell at you once you start getting dangerously low. Next one here is going to be your wireless antenna or notifier. When you click on it, just like in Apple-based systems, it displays all your available networks to connect to. It also gives you some options that you can set. You can actually configure different network devices through here. VPN. You can actually enable networking or your wireless card altogether. If you're having issues with a particular wireless network that you're connecting to, you can actually edit your connections here, have it completely removed, re-add. Next one here is your sound. Very straightforward. You have your mute, unmute. You have your volume bar here to adjust your volume. Rhythm box is something Linux-wise. If you're playing music, you can actually have it through rhythm box right here in the bar. Play next, and then sound settings. When you click on your sound settings, it's just gonna do that. Open up the sound applet. Shows you the type of sound card that you have installed. Gives you your levels that you can adjust. You have inputs that you can adjust. Sound effects that you can do. Application sounds right now, Kazam applications all the way up and on. Next one over is going to be your clock, just like on Windows and Mac alike. You have your clock that displays your time. When you click on it, shows you your calendar. You also have the options to change your date and time, whether different time zone or different day of the week, daylight saving time, all those type of adjustments are right here. So next one over is going to be your power and settings bar. If you click on this, a drop down bar is going to come up. you have about this computer, which gives you the rundown, quick snapshot of what's on the system, overview, any default applications that are set up. I haven't changed mine since installation other than the web browser. Removable media, graphics card, the legal notice. So that's that. Ubuntu, your Ubuntu help will bring you to the actual Ubuntu help community. System settings, click on this. It's kind of like the control panel for Windows. Not a lot in here that you can really adjust compared to the control panel. This is more or less an exact replica of the system preferences for Mac systems. So if you're a Mac user, this probably looks very familiar to you, which is good. Helps you transition. The next things down, you can actually lock your system. You can log into a guest session. By default, that's on, or it shows you here's your user account. If you had any other user accounts on the system as well, you can log into them. And then the bottom, you can log out. You can suspend or put your computer into like a hibernation mode and shut down. Going back over here to the upper left-hand corner, one thing I want to show you is whenever you open up a file, or window, whatever active window you're on, let's say for terminal instance, I have my terminal. This bar here shows I'm on my terminal, gives me that path. And then they're kind of hidden unless you bring attention to them, is your file, edit, view, search. So all your actual window options are up here on the toolbar. Something new for you if you're coming off Windows. Again, if you're coming off a Mac, this should be very familiar to you, considering it's the exact same format on a Mac. The other thing too, though, is if you, for instance, maximize any active window that you have, it takes up the full screen. You actually get your close, minus, and resize buttons up here in the window as well, which is kind of neat. Because for instance, if I was doing, for instance, Google Chrome full window, here's my tabs going across the top. I reveal, here's my file, edit, view, tools for Google Chrome. It shows I'm right now on an untitled Google Chrome page while that's loading. I can then minimize it. I can resize it. And I can also close out of it. So just keep note, that's pretty much where all your active window file options are going to display up here. And again, they're hidden until you actually do a mouse over. You can change it in your settings and in display options, so you can have it so then it doesn't disappear. You can have it stick there. This here that I've already just briefly shown you is actually the dock. For Windows users, we really never had a dock. For Apple users, again, you've had a dock. It was down here across the bottom. So Ubuntu gives it to you. This is actually one of Unity's specialties, is the dock. First thing here is the Ubuntu search, or if you're a Mac user, this is pretty much replicating the Finder. When you click on that, it brings up our search field. We have a different couple categories down here, just like your Finder on your Mac. You can search up here. These first set of windows here, or applications here, are going to be your most recent applications that you use, or applications you use a lot. You can actually narrow your searches down by actually typing in here. The next category, and this is all happening actually under this category here, the home. Then you have applications, which will show your applications, as well as suggested applications for you that you might be able to purchase or download for free on the market. You have your files and documents that you can search category, music, pictures, and videos. So that's again all under this the Ubuntu search, which also we can consider the Ubuntu Finder. Next one down is your files. When you open up here, this actually brings you right to your home directory, where all your files are stored by pretty much the default locations. If you're a Windows user, this should look very familiar to you. So that. My terminal, which I showed you, Google Chrome, Firefox, LibreOffice, which is actually the free version, Ubuntu version, for those that need like a word processing unit. It does support all of Microsoft applications extensions, so if you use that, if that's one of the biggest things you use on your Windows-based system, and that's why you don't want to push over to Linux, well, they give you that, so you have no excuses. Ubuntu Software Center. This is actually where you would go to install new software that may be available, as well as update current software. Before this, we used to have to do everything through the terminal, which wasn't hard. You knew wanted to do an application, you just did sudo apt-get install name of the application. If you needed to do an update, sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get upgrade, which I actually prefer doing just because that's how I've always done it. It's actually quite easy on the Ubuntu based systems, opposed to any other distro that I've seen that's not Debian based. Should have had that in there. So yeah, they have Ubuntu Software Center, which just as easy is actually easier now, because you can point and click and download and update and install. They give you your categories that you can install for. So a list of installed software that I have already, whether software that came pre-built with the system or software that I installed later on. Any updates that come through, you'll actually get a notification. Hey, these updates want to run. Tell it yeah. Ubuntu 1 was kind of briefly talked about up here. That's that cloud. Ubuntu 1's just like our SkyDrive or iCloud or Google Drive. It's just a remote place in the cloud for you to back up and store files. I haven't really used it much on this one because I have the Google Drive and all that stuff, and I don't really put too much files on this system here, but I'm using it a little bit, and eventually I'll probably end up using it more. Steam, installed it third-party software for games. You can actually game for the most part on Linux now. As soon as it becomes more worldwide and more people using it, expect even more games to populate on the Linux version of Steam. Next thing I'm going to show you is a workspace switcher, which actually, when you click on it, it just shows you your workbenches. Right now I have 4. So what happens is when I open up an application, it becomes available on my workbench. So here's my workbench. I can move to another clean workbench if I want, and open something else. And I can pretty much juggle between this. It's kind of gave us a way to have a clean start and work on specific applications. If you only had, for say, one monitor and you wanted to keep everything kind of separate and organized. And anytime you can click a particular program and you can move it to any of the other windows to make room, or if you wanted to combine something else, that's how you would do it. Next one is your show desktop, which on a Windows Mac-based system does the same thing. If I click on it, it's gonna pretty much shrink all open windows to my dock, so I can see and take a look what's on my desktop, what's saved to my desktop. Click it again, it'll open up everything, and that's for all workbenches. So you see I clicked it and showed my workbench. All of them are empty right now. If I click it again, there they are. Trash, recycle bin, pretty much the same thing. This is where I would put things that I want to delete, not to store for later. That's what you use your files for. With that being said, I want to show you something that our Windows users, for once, will actually be familiar with. So with the Unity, they actually adopted the snap feature that is very popular and familiar with, like our Windows 7 system going on all the way up to Windows 8. So the snap works the same way. You grab your window, and if you want it to be full screen, pull it to all the way to the top. You'll see the orange grid that takes up the entire screen. I let go, it snaps. I can do the same thing for left, do the same thing for right. So then if I wanted to have two files open right next to each other, I can. So I can work on two things at once. Ubuntu kind of adapted that. For the most part, the shake feature wasn't really something that they've done. Maybe in the later releases, if they decide to be very Windowsy. Otherwise, I'm very happy with just the snap feature because I use that a lot, even on my Windows-based systems. So that's actually pretty much it. Is for the most part. That's really the basics of Ubuntu 13.04 Raring Ringtail, and I think next week I'll probably do another one of these and actually get a little bit more in depth with the software and how to actually even personalize, go through the different personalization windows. You can certain applications you can install to even customize your workspace even more so. Thanks guys for tuning in. Expect more in weeks to come. If you're not a member of our user group, go ahead, add us on Google+, like us and friend us on Facebook, follow our tweets on Twitter, and then again, till next time.